2017 corn chopping season is underway here in Western Kentucky, and in this Big Tractor Power video we're going to take a look at a pair of John Deere 8600 self-propelled forage harvesters and the army of H&S SD7+4 forage wagons that it takes to keep up with these big self-propelled choppers. Here we can see one of the 8600s opening up a new field of corn. When the field is being opened up, an H&S wagon is hooked right behind the 616 horsepower John Deere 8600 as it goes around the entire perimeter of the field to open it up for the wagons to go back and forth alongside the chopper. This big chopper is equipped with a 778 John Deere Kemper head. This is a row independent head using large buzz saws to slice through the corn and bringing it into the chopper to be chopped up into fine chips, which will make feed material for the farm's Holstein dairy cows. Here we can get a close-up of the 778 Kemper and those buzz saws as they slice through the corn and pull all the stalks, leaves, and corn cobs into the chopper to be processed and made into fine chips of feed material. You can see some of the chips floating down as they are blown out the spout into the H&S wagon. This corn crop is doing particularly well in 2017. It's yielding about 32 tons to the acre. That means that each one of these big H&S SD7+4 wagons is being filled up in just about 2 minutes. And it takes a fleet of John Deere 8R, 7R, and 6R tractors to pull these big wagons to and from the field. Each one of these wagons will hold as much, if not more, than a tandem axle dump truck. Here we can see one of the farm's John Deere 6175R tractors pulling the wagon. There are 7210R tractors out here in the field, as well as 8245R and 8295R tractors pulling all these wagons. And while this is a lot of horsepower ranging from 175 to 295 engine horsepower, all these tractors do a variety of jobs on the farm. The 6Rs do a lot of loader work, 7Rs do a lot of mowing and baling, and the 8Rs run 16-row John Deere 1795 corn planters throughout the season and a variety of other jobs such as manure applications. So they get a lot of work and a lot of use, and it is helpful when you're pulling large wagons like this with all this silage up and down the road to have the weight and the power to pull them. Over to the left you can see an 8245R pulling out in the road, heading back to the ag bagger, which we'll see a little later, where the silage is stored in kind of a large garbage bag. And then we can see a pair of 8295Rs rolling along at the end of the wagon train. Now we're going to jump up in the cab and get the operator's view of the John Deere 8600 as it switches over to a new wagon. One of the nice things about a row independent head is that you can drive in any direction across the field. Right now this John Deere 8600 chopper is doing the headlands, opening up the field, and it's pulling a wagon behind it. And the wagon is full, so it's time to switch. So we're making a loop right in the middle of the cornfield. This way you can switch out to a new wagon. Across the rows. John Deere 8245R tractors taking off behind the newly switched over H&S SD7 plus 4 wagon and the 8600 John Deere self-propelled chopper. The 8245R will haul the next full wagon back to the farm, and then we can see the 6175R tractor here and a 7210R tractor with H&S wagons following behind. And with each wagon being filled up in about 2 minutes, it just takes this long wagon train, one after another, following behind the chopper to get it all the way around the field before they can start blowing the corn silage into the wagons from the side of the chopper. And hopefully you found it kind of interesting to see the operator's view as he made that loop through the standing corn to unhook the full wagon. So they'll drop the full wagon inside this little circle of corn. We can see another one of the tractors backing out. That was the tractor that was following the chopper, just like we saw the 8245R just take off. And we can see this is an 8295R tractor, and it's going to back into the other side of the loop where that full wagon is sitting, and it will be hauled back to the ag bagger, which we'll see in the next segment of the video. He's going to back in through the corn stalks and hook onto that wagon, and then the other 8295R tractors are going to take off to complete that wagon train to keep the 8600 rolling on through the corn as it opens up the field. And these big wagons are really impressive. They can move a lot of feed and they can unload very quickly, and it just builds in a great efficiency for this farm because all of their silage, whether it is haylage, corn silage, or milo, is all bagged and fed out of these bags, which we'll see in just about a minute. And there they go off around the field following the 8600. And we'll see the H&S wagon hooked up to this 8295R, and then we'll be heading just a few miles down the road to head to the ag bags and load that feed in there. Ag bags help ferment this corn silage. It's very green and juicy coming out of the field, and it kind of deteriorates and ferments inside the bags to make a good nutritional feed that will help the cows grow healthily and produce a good milk product for our use and in our homes. So here we see the 8295R hooked up, and that wagon is full of a lot of corn feed, and it's a very, very heavy wagon, and it's great to have the power and the weight of this tractor to move this big wagon safely down the road. And now we're going to see it head on out, and then we'll see one of these H&S SD7 plus 4 wagons being unloaded into the ag bag back at the farm. John Deere 8600 self-propelled choppers running with 8-row Kemper heads. Wagons are constantly coming in and unloading to keep the machines rolling out in the field. Here we are back up in the cab of the John Deere 8600 self-propelled forage harvester as it continues to make that initial loop around the perimeter of the cornfield, opening up the field to be chopped by both of the 8600 self-propelled forage harvesters. Hopefully you enjoyed the brief clip seeing the ag bagging process where these wagons are unloaded back at the farm. And it takes a lot of machines to keep this all going and getting the feed on the farm. There are actually 2 Ag Bagger brand baggers, which are owned by New Holland, and then 2 Kelly Ryan baggers keeping all these wagons unloading in a timely manner to keep these choppers rolling through the field. We can see here we're just about filled up on this H&S SD7 plus 4 wagon, and we're also almost all the way around the field. So what we'll see here in just a few seconds is that as this wagon fills up, there's going to be another John Deere tractor and H&S wagon pulling up to the right-hand side of the chopper, and then he's going to start filling from the right-hand side directly into the wagon, and that's just a lot faster because you're not unhooking the wagon as you go. As we wait for that wagon to pull up alongside here of the 8600, I just want to mention, because I know one of the questions is this a farm-owned operation, a custom chopper? These choppers and all these tractors and wagons belong to a dairy farm here in Western Kentucky. We always appreciate coming out through the season to see them chopping hay, corn, and milo. And if you look over to the right, you can see one of the farm's John Deere S670 combines getting ready to shell corn. Corn's drying down quickly, and it won't be long before the combines are shelling some high moisture corn on this farm as well. So here we can see the wagon's almost full. We've made the loop all the way around the field, and now it's time to start filling the wagons directly. So the spout will shut off here just for a second as it pivots over to the right, and it will begin filling the next wagon that will be headed back to the farm to unload feed for those dairy cows. There's the spout into position, and it's starting to fill the next wagon. Typically the farm likes to load all the wagons directly, but when you have to open up a field and do that whole first headland loop or open up a new section of the field, that's when they hook the wagon directly behind the forage harvester. So they're filling up this, and we'll just get a few more clips out in the field of what it looks like from the operator's view. Here we can see another one of the 8600s filling up a semi-truck. We're crossing a path here where we had looped around to start a new section. And again, just takes an army of wagons and trucks to keep this all moving. We're going to head up here to do another section. We'll get a view of the Kemper head. Yes, over to the left, that is a corn planter. It's planting double crop milo right behind these choppers. As the choppers harvest the corn, milo is planted into the field that will be harvested just before Thanksgiving in November of 2017 for feed for nutritional value for the calves on the dairy farm. So we hope that you've enjoyed watching these big John Deere 8600 self-propelled forage harvesters and the H&S SD7+4 wagons being filled up. It's exciting to see all this machinery at work. If you'd like to watch more videos of big farm machines at work, check out bigtractorpower.com, and right in the middle of the homepage you'll see a YouTube logo that will take you to over 1,000 videos filmed by Big Tractor Power that are on YouTube. You can also follow us on social media, which includes Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you would like to get updates and short video clips and pictures from the field, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we'll be sharing what we're filming out in the field, as well as farm equipment history. And as always, we appreciate you watching Big Tractor Power on YouTube.